Zest is in, where resilience begins, not fixing the cracks.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Zest is Zen with me, Shel Marie, the podcast that'll take you on a journey from the hustle to the harmony, fueling your passion whilst finding your peace. I am super excited to introduce my guest today. Not only is she someone that pours so much into so many particular women, that's why I am so thankful to have this opportunity to pour into her today and celebrate her and all her greatness. She is called Shilpi Shah, and she is a global connector, storyteller, visibility mentor, and community builder, and I'm sure so much more, helping visionaries, coaches, and leaders amplify their voices with authenticity and heart, which we absolutely love. So she spent decades creating spaces where meaningful conversations spark influence, empowerment, and lasting impact, which is super important. Through her blend of strategy, soul connection, and human-centered storytelling, she invites us to explore what it truly means to build a brand and a legacy and a life rooted in purpose. If you feel called, please share a little love by helping amplify my incredible guest's voice today. It costs you absolutely nothing. It's a click of the button, but it helps reach many more hearts and minds. So if you have done so already, thank you so much. And may this episode bring you the courage, clarity, authentic visibility, and inspiration to honor your own voice. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Shel. I'm so happy, and I feel privileged to be here. Thank you so much for asking.
Thank you so much, darling. And I really mean what I said at the start of the intro. Like, even in the short time I've known you, like obviously via of this fabulous network that we have called the internet, where we get to globally connect. I just from not only your interaction with me, but how I see how you represent yourself, and you represent particularly other women. I know it's not just women, but I know you're a big advocate for empowering women and supporting women. That I just feel this joy and this love and this expansion and this empowerment from you. And you can even see that with what you've got behind you in the background. Oh my gosh, it's me as well, sorry. I just noticed just behind your head that I'm there as well. Anyway, back in the room. But what I really wanted to celebrate you for is I just feel you are pouring so much into so many people worldwide, globally. And so I wanted to almost give you a gift back today with this episode, to pour into you and celebrate you.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. So what I always am intrigued about is, where did this spark, this passion ignite from? Where did it come from? Because there's a lot of people thinking things, but not really always taking action, or tomorrow or the next day, and then it never happens. But you clearly had this seed, this inspiration inside you that was like, I'm going to do something about this, whatever this is. So where did that come from? What was it? Was you always this way? Like, did you always just want to support and empower women, or did something happen to you that then made you think, I don't want to ever feel that again? Where did it come from?
Shel, this seems like a question to you, but I have lived my entire life building this. See, so when I started my career as a geologist, basically. And when I started my career, then there were some things which, led me to, switch my career to teaching. And when teaching came into purpose, then since I was a mother by then, and I have to family comes first and foremost, right?
Yeah.
So I can give my introduction as I am a global champion of women's empowerment and purpose driven entrepreneurship. I am a digital storyteller, founder of Wabi Sabi life
Yes.
digital media storytelling platform, which is dedicated to authentic human stories. But when I, like look back in my life, then before any of those titles, I am mother of two sons, and I
Yes.
am someone, I am someone who has lived health challenges, career switches, and reinvented my life in my late 30s actually.
Beautiful.
So when I started my career as a geologist, and then due to motherhood I switched my career and then became a trained teacher. And once again, due to health challenges, I had to like take a career break. And then I happened to attend a session at Harki, which led me to remote work. And this remote work like led me to Fuchsia, which is you already know about Fuchsia. That
Yeah.
I mean, at Fuchsia we work for digital empowerment of women entrepreneurs basically. So through Fuchsia, my journey, like restarted once again, and I upskilled myself into digital marketing. I upskilled myself into, like content writing. I did my MBA from IIM Calcutta, and I happened to join G100, like Media Arts and Communication Wing as a global advisory council. And since I joined Fuchsia and G100, something shifted. I started networking with like amazing women like you out there. And since I was taking these interviews of like entrepreneurs, coaches. So I had a lot to learn from those interviews actually. So when I was going through those interviews, one thing was common. And this was that no one planned to become an entrepreneur or a coach, or what they were in their lives, right? There were some series of moments, some series of events which led them into their respective careers. So the
Absolutely.
same thing, when I connected the dots backwards, then I felt like somewhere actually I have heard about Wabi Sabi interiors. So when I connected the dots of my life backwards, then I realized that I am already living a Wabi Sabi life. And
Yeah.
yeah, and that moment I realized that Wabi Sabi could be translated into relationships, it could be translated into life. So that's when like Live Wabi Sabi blog was like came into being. And I just started sharing things about mindfulness, about law of attraction, and how Wabi Sabi works in relationships, because Wabi Sabi is all about incomplete, impermanent, and imperfect nature of things. And it like motivates us to accept things as they are. So the thing is, if we start accepting ourselves as we are, then something shifts within, and
Absolutely.
life becomes so easy. So this was just starting. Once again, like I started when I started going through these interviews again and again. And then a moment came where I saw a video of Mrs. Vinita Srivastava, and she was inviting women for the pageant. So that was a beauty pageant. Earlier I never felt something beautiful about myself, because I thought like the beauty norms are like you must be having some kind of face, some kind of like color, and that model walk and everything. But when I I mean saw that video of Nita Srivastava ma'am, she was like telling women that there is no weight limit, no age limit, no
Amazing.
no
Amazing.
color and anything. I mean, you could be anyone. You can come to the pageant, and then we will transform you. And that moment, like I thought that why not take this chance. I was already 42 at that time. So I thought, why not like
Yes.
let's experience this also. So I went to this beauty pageant, and there were like almost 50-55 women who were like me, who were trying to explore something new, who were trying to like they were just trying to be themselves, despite of being in a pageant, despite of being in a competition with each other. And when I heard their stories, we lived there for, I guess, for 1 week or so, and we lived together, and we learned about each other's journeys. So
Wow.
I realized that I mean we all are living Wabi Sabi life actually. So that was the
I love
moment,
it.
the idea of Wabi Sabi stories clicked. And that Wabi Sabi stories has now, like evolved into Wabi Sabi podcasts and Wabi Sabi magazine. So I am so happy that I have created a space where any women, I mean, they could be pageant winners, they could be homemakers, they could be entrepreneurs, they could be coaches,
Yes, yes.
I mean, they could be professionals, anyone, they could come and share their journeys and inspire other women, on their journeys,
Amazing.
that it's never too late to start again, and feel your worth and accept yourself as you are. So I
Yes,
proudly say
yes.
that I am founder of Live Wabi Sabi, where where we share authentic stories, your authentic selves, and we like my main agenda is women should feel unapologetically themselves.
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah, this is the main motive. The question was, I mean, what was the
No,
journey?
you absolutely
How it all
answered it, my
began.
darling.
So
You
yeah,
answered
so
it beyond, above and beyond what I would have even, and which is why I love this style so much, because I personally feel there's so much alignment between what you've just expressed and what I started and had no idea that that's what I was doing as well with this. So I remember right at the start, and that's the thing. And anybody listening right now, and I'm sure you could give some wise words about this as well. You've just expressed so many, that there is going to be so much resistance. There's going to be so much external noise. There's going to be so many people telling you what you should be doing, etc., etc., etc. And I know that you're a big part of what you do and represent is brand as well. But equally, I remember when I did this last year, this is not even that old right now. It's like, I remember people saying, no, you can't just have anyone on your podcast. It has to be a certain this. It has to be. And there was just something in me, even when I had no idea, and I was not even wanting to do this. I'll be completely honest. I don't even know how it came about. It all happened like in 24 hours. But there was just something in me saying, no, I want everybody to be able to speak their truth. I want everybody to be able to tell their story. And even now, people are like, oh, it goes from this to money to this to this to this. It's so confusing. Obviously, these are all private messages. But now, because I know, I didn't know, and this is what I really want people to understand, is sometimes you will not know. You will not know. It's like you're walking, and it's a very pioneer mindset. You're walking almost in the dark, and everyone's telling you, no, just focus on relationships, just focus on money, just focus on beauty. But actually, they didn't know what was planted in my heart and in your heart of, it was so much deeper than that, of we all have a story. And even if I don't have regular viewers because they're only focusing on money and they can't relate to whatever the next person speaks about, it doesn't matter, because it's a message for someone. Because in telling our truth and our story, that's where I believe the true transformation comes.
Yeah, even if one woman is inspired, then it is worth it.
Exactly, right? Exactly. And that's what I feel between both of us. And it's so ironic that like, even with all your multiple, like, your companies, everything you're infused in, and it's like, actually, even now when I think about it, you appeared very quickly at the start of my own journey with this podcast, and I realized how much I've already poured so much into you, and then you're here, and it's just such a beautiful exchange. And you just never know, like what you said, and it actually makes me feel a little sad in what you expressed about the pageant, which is about, oh, it's a certain look, it's a certain color, it's a certain this. And that shows me, and I'm sure that's what showed you, that actually is something that needs more love into it, more transformation. It needs more no. And I put up this morning, like, even not knowing we're going to have this conversation, I put up a quote about beauty, and I wasn't talking about beauty. I'm talking about beauty, which is so much deeper than the word we believe it to be. And we have this conversation. So really, thank you so much. I think it's incredible what you're creating, and I know even though you've achieved so much already, I know again there's so much more greatness that you're uncovering, and I just think
I truly
it's
believe
amazing.
it. Thank you so much.
It's really amazing. Um, and I also love that you said you spent a week together, because, often again you think, and it's so interesting as well, I don't know why, but I feel like let's just focus on the pageant for a second, because actually only last week there was a pageant that I just walked, I didn't know was happening in my own area, and, these beautiful women. But you know what? They were holding themselves. So even when we see these pageants and we see these profiles and we see these pictures, we mustn't judge, because these, like, I was looking like, wow, oh my goodness, this town, and it was such a random place, was just all of a sudden all these different women from all over, and I was just like, wow, look at all these beautiful women. But energetically, you could feel they were comparing. They were, am I too big? Like, even them that are so focused on everything being so perfect, what even is perfect, were still not how we think that they feel about themselves. And so I just think, I think there's a lot to be said about these competitions, and really, how do we make them more empowering?
You know what, Shell, that pageants in which, participants are, like above 30 or above 40, then those pageants are, are for transformation, basically. I mean, in India, which I have experienced actually. And there, women were, like supporting each other. They were
Yes,
fixing
yes.
each other's clothes, each other's, I mean, each other mindset even. And even if someone was, like, I mean, feeling low about themselves, that, oh, my dress is not that good, or my, my appearance is not that good. But there were women who were supporting each other. Come on, I mean, you need to be confident about yourself.
Beautiful.
So this pageant was all about transformation. And this pageant, this, I mean, this helped me realize that, like, there are n number of women out there who are, just like us. They are, trying to figure out things, and that's okay. I mean, you can be 20 and still figuring out things, and you can be 40 and still figuring out
Yeah,
things, right?
yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah, it's all about, feeling content on the inner part of yourself, so that you are,
Absolutely.
yeah, so that you are happy from inside, because at the end of the day, everything boils down to your own happiness and how you accept yourselves, right? So
Absolutely.
anybody else cannot, demean you until unless you yourself are willing to. If you are willing to, like, feel happy and grateful for whatever you have, and then I guess nobody can, put you down in any way.
Absolutely. And something that I really felt from your own journey is, and when we talk about fear, because I think, that people can be like, oh, well, no, what, should I just go and hold snakes? Shall I, you have the kind of cynical whatever about fear. But I feel like, particularly in transformation, so for example, you said about the pageants, and you had so many pre-programmed notions of a pageant.
Absolutely.
And that's where the courage, I believe, comes from, because you faced that fear courageously, and you allowed yourself to be like, no, I feel this resistance. I feel this, like, something coming up. So I'm actually going to go towards it more, because now look what you've discovered as a result of facing it. And I think that's what we should really focus on. Not necessarily spiders, this, that, and the other. If someone wants to do that, fine. But I mean, when you have something in you that feels like a block, but it's like an opportunity has presented itself, try to change that narrative.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all in mind. It's all mindset.
Yeah.
If you put
Yeah.
your mind to something, then I mean you can make it positive or you can make it negative, right?
Absolutely.
So it's
Absolutely.
all your mindset. And when you learn to accept things as they are and try to learn from each and every failure as well, right? Because life is all about failures and successes and each and everything. So if you learn to accept yourself and learn to I mean face the failures also with courage and
Yes,
be
yes,
calm your success as well,
yes.
yeah.
Absolutely. And I'd love your take on this. This is something that's really started coming up a lot in my life that I'm realizing that
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, and it doesn't mean, some people might call it prep, some people might call it meditation, quiet time, whatever it is that you do for yourself privately, without labeling it. Like what I noticed is that often the things or the people or the situations or the opportunities sometimes that we want removing now, like I don't want this, please remove it. And this is just my own experience, this is not saying that it's the truth, but I've noticed that every single thing, person, whatever, has actually a place in your expansion, your transformation. And so sometimes what I'm learning now is when you feel that resistance, you feel that uncomfortableness, you're kind of wanting to go back into that comfort zone. Sometimes there's a reason greater than we believe that's going to that why that's entered our life. And so sometimes I now get curious about it. Instead of being like, oh, I don't want this to happen, why is this happening? Victim blame, whatever. I just get curious, interesting, and try to like see myself separate from it. Because what I've actually noticed is many key people, situations, whatever that have happened in my life previously have actually created the most expansion, the most acceleration. And it's not saying we always have to be uncomfortable and we have to suffer, because again, it's what we apply to it. If we think we're being, poor me suffering, then that's what we create. But yeah, I just get really intrigued about it now.
Each and every chapter of your life, Shell, I mean it transforms you, right? And it takes you where you belong. This is what
Yeah.
I feel. See, when I started live Wabi Sabi life, I mean it didn't begin as a concept for me. I lived it. I have already lived this Wabi Sabi
Yeah.
life, incomplete, impermanent and imperfect. So if I have to say about myself, like I had my higher education, like I did my masters in geology, then I had aspirations of research. But then love happened, marriage happened, motherhood happened, and I had to switch my career. And I also got an opportunity from Indian Institute of Geomagnetism, Mumbai, as a research scholar. But once again I have to choose motherhood, and I chose career shift. Then there were some of the health battles. Then there was a pause which I never planned, because I was not feeling well. I was not in my skin, and I thought this pause is I mean at that moment I was very adamant that why I am taking this break. But when I when in the place where I am today, I realized that that pause was very very important for me, because I began again in the digital world with Fuchsia. Then I upskilled and learned at Digital Vidya. And Wabi Sabi only happened with this newspaper article, actually, which I read somewhere. And then something shifted, because this wasn't design, and this was the life which I was already living, which is incomplete,
Absolutely.
impermanent and imperfect, right? Then
Yes.
came I would also love to tell you that when I was doing my MBA from IIM Calcutta, I was attending classes from hospital corridors. And
Wow.
I was holding hope, I was holding pain, but I lost my mother. And in that loss, I understood this Wabi Sabi very deeply. I learned that
Mm.
life is fragile. Nothing in life is permanent. And when I look back today, then everything makes sense, because this was the what I would say, the roots of, Wabi Sabi,
Yeah.
which I was living. And since, as I told you, that my MBA led me to, G100 Media Arts and Communication Wing, where I stepped in as Global Advisory Council. And since then, the conversations, the connection, the global network of women leaders. So this kind of exposure, I mean, didn't just expand my network, it expanded my perspective.
Yeah.
And this was something which I wanted to share, that even if, I mean, there are losses in life, but if you try to learn from them, that what
Yeah.
this is trying to teach, to me in that difficult moments, if you are able to channel your mind, then probably, I mean, you will get through everything.
Absolutely. Yeah, I hear you with that, and even I guess I can relate to that as well, even with this, because ultimately I was already embodying what I'm doing now, and that's probably why sometimes the most inauthentic part, which is the reading of the introducing the guest, which I happen to often not always get, I muddle up my words because I get so excited to just start the interview, not the interview, but the conversation. But this actually came, even though I didn't realize it, was because prior to this, for years and years prior to this, and particularly when I was living in Dubai, I was constantly blessed with connections, with conversations with so many influential people all over the world. And every time I left that conversation with that little transformational gem or that little bit of magic that made me go, oh, I was like, people need to hear this. And this is how this happened for me. And so that's probably why I don't really relate to the whole podcast hosting. I know that's what I'm technically doing, but it's because it's a being. It's something that I was doing for so long that I just had this, like, I want people to hear, like a fly on the wall. I want people to hear this conversation, because we could have connected now. There's so many guests that say pre-call, and I say in the most loving way, I don't do pre-calls, because the thing is, the moment you've had that initial connection, everything, even if you try to be as authentic as possible, is slightly rehearsed. Oh, I remember she told me this, and it's nothing against pre-calls, but I know that in that moment, in that initial connection, you don't know what I'm going to say, I don't know what you're going to say, and that's when the real magic comes out, I believe. So yeah, really thank you for sharing that.
And see, I have your picture, I guess, in my background.
That's just thank you, darling. Yeah, it really means a lot to me, and I mean this from the depth of my heart. More than like what I said, even though we
this as you were saying about that, the more you met people, the more you learned about life, and same happened with me. These interviews which I did for Fuchsia, I mean, each and every interview was such a kind of learning experience for me, because they have a number of life battles which they share with us. They have their own messages, they have their own cheerleaders, they have their own systems to come out from any kind of struggle you are having in your life. So it teaches you so deeply that I mean, you are able to transform yourself. And if someone comes to you for any kind of help, at least you are able to offer some authentic help. Because I really feel blessed that I have this association with Fuchsia, that I was able to connect with so many members. And I am also grateful to G100, because that was the community where each and every woman, they are just trying to support each other. Despite of the fact that people say that women generally are envious of themselves, of each other, but we are changing the norms. Shel, you are changing the norms, actually. I mean, this is the best thing happening in today's world, that women are supporting women, right?
Yes, and you know, you really touched it, and something I really realized, because again, at the start, the loud noises again was, you know, why are you doing investing all that time? Why with people that don't understand the vision, and what, you're not getting any money, blah 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 blah. Listen, the wealth, the true rich and wealth I get is from
Mhm.
knowledge sometimes. And it's not
Yeah.
saying, again, you know, we are entrepreneurs, we are CEOs, we are builders, we're visionaries and pioneers, but you know, and equally what we put out we should receive back. But equally, if you are focusing only on connecting in order to gain, then you lose this is my personal opinion, it's not for everyone, but I think you lose the purpose of why you're doing it, because
Mhm.
the collaborations, the networking, the connections, the, oh my gosh, what I have received from creating this podcast is the gold. And
Mhm.
if putting a price on that at the start, when I didn't even know what I was trying to achieve or do, I would
Mhm.
have really lost that connection. Yes, we always receive what we want, whether we take the long road or the short road or whatever. We always get there. But if my intention was that only, I would have only attracted certain types of connections that were also in alignment with that. Whereas
Yes.
because I opened my heart and I trusted the process, what I have gained as a result of just being passionate and showing up every single time, you can't even put money on it. It's like my
Yeah.
mindset, my connection, just so much. And that's what I hear from you as well, is yeah, I'm just so
Your
happy that I
experiences,
followed it.
your experiences, your network, your feelings, then your passion, nobody, like, can take
Yeah,
from you, right? And if you are
absolutely.
doing something right, then you will definitely, attract, a number
Absolutely.
of good things in your life. So that's how world works, you keep doing good and good comes back to you.
Exactly. Absolutely. Wow, my darling, this has been such an incredible podcast. And equally, if there was anything you still felt like you wanted to express that would really benefit the listeners, anything that you're involved in, any messages you would like to send out to them so they can connect with you, feel free to use this time now. Because I know there's so much that I've been involved in with you, and I know that there's so many opportunities you have for so many people, which is incredible.
Yeah. So what I wanted to, put out as a message, because since I believe in living Wabi Sabi, so I would always say, that courage doesn't always roar, sometimes it whispers that I will
Yes.
try again tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and that
Be kind to
whisper matters.
yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing you have to do is being, like, kind with yourself, and there is some kind of strength in your struggles as well, and there are the cracks from which, light comes in actually.
Yeah.
So please believe in that light, right?
You.
And as far as, sharing of your stories is concerned, that my platform Live Wabi Sabi is for each and everyone out there who is willing to share their lived experiences.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not about your success, or or your only your entrepreneurship. It's about your lived experiences. So
Yes.
please, come to my podcast to share your lived experiences, because what I feel is every person, has a story, and some kind of lived experiences basically, and
Absolutely.
those experiences has the power to, inspire someone else, so that they could begin again, that if they have taken a pause, then they at least rest in their pause, and they feel that, and they have that kind of belief that, okay, good things are, coming out. And if someone is still, figuring it out, that there is so much of confusion, there are so many of pauses. So please know that, this isn't a setback. it's a kind of becoming, because
Yes.
I have lived it. I have lived the career
You,
break,
my
I have
darling.
lived career switches. So I know that, but that was part of my becoming. If those experiences were not there, then I won't be sitting in front of Shell
Yes.
and talking about live Wabi Sabi. Okay, so one day when you will connect the dots, backwards, then it will, everything will make sense. Every delay, every detour,
Yes. Yeah.
every breakdown, I mean, it will help you understand that you are not lost, you are evolving, and
Yes.
you are becoming, basically. So be unapologetically real. I mean, this is your wabi sabi journey, I would say, right? Of identity, of purpose, of authentic success. So don't rush it, live it, live every day. And if you wish to, if any one of you wish to connect with me, you can connect with me at livewabisabi.com,
Yeah.
or Shilpi Gupta Shah, I mean, at the late of, at LinkedIn, and same at Instagram. So even
Beautiful.
if you type live Wabi Sabi, you will, on Google, you will find me.
Absolutely. And all of the details, so don't worry about going back. You can go back and try and listen again, but everything will be in the description. And I'm sure we will collaborate and connect so that it's linked on both platforms. So everything will be there. Yes, yes, yes. As someone who has already had that beautiful experience multiple times, reach out to this fabulous woman. She is really, really, really making so many incredible moves in this world, and you can just feel that in the energy you're putting out. It's really beautiful, and I'm so happy that we are connected. And I know you shared so many incredible words of wisdom, but if there's anything right now, I just ask at the end, any last little message, it doesn't have to be linked to anything we just spoke about, that you think someone listening right now would really benefit from hearing, what would you tell them?
I would tell them, love yourself. Love yourself unapologetically.
Yeah.
And because no one can pour from an empty cup, right? So you have to fill your own cup first. So love yourself so that you are able to love others, right? So put
Absolutely.
yourself first, give yourself a priority. This will be, because at Live Wabi Sabi we generally talk about self-love shots. So never ever forget to take your daily doses of self-love shots. Be it,
Beautiful.
a simple green tea, be it your workout, be it your black coffee, or be it like walking, or like meditation, or like simply gazing the nature. So but yeah, I mean, fill your cup first, and always take your doses of self-love shots.
Absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much. What a pleasure to have you here today. And yeah, may you continue to be abundantly blessed with much more as you inspire so many. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shel, for this, like lovely and empowering session. And I just love the idea of, no questions at all.
Thank you for trusting the
Yeah.
process.
I just love this idea, and hopefully, like in my podcast as well, I will try to do some podcasts on, I mean, just on a go, that we
Yeah,
connect
yeah.
and we talk, while talking only,
Beautiful.
we share so many experiences with each other. So thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Shel.
You're so welcome. And just on that, before we go, because I think that was really powerful what you just said, I think that was a really powerful message in itself, that just think in us two connecting, I have learned something from you, many things from you, and you equally have got some sort of inspiration from me. And so that's why once we stop detaching from it belongs to us and it's our idea and it's this, nothing truly belongs to us. We should be inspiring and empowering each other. And that's what I really feel from you. So thank you so much.
You're most welcome, Shel, and I learned so much from you. I mean, this idea, and I would also love to have you on our podcast, and we'll talk about
Absolutely.
Zest to Zen, what it is all about. What's the idea behind,
Yeah,
Zest
let's
to
do it. Let's do it. Watch this space, people.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
Beautiful.
since we talked about Wabi Sabi, so next we will be talking about Zest to Zen,
Yes,
right?
we will. We will. Let's do this. Already done. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shel.
That's the magic. That's Zest to Zen.